this is Kayla Bio.
Woo!
Kayla is a very loving child, very studious child. She loves to get good grades in school. And I'm just taking a second now to introduce each and every one of both of them because they worked really hard on their sermons today. And so we ask that you give them your complete attention
It's time blurring.
and that you encourage them when you see them in the hall because the weather is
It's kind of blurry. I can't zoom in when it's blurry.
what you are going to do fantabulous.
Yes, she is.
She's 9. Woo!
Good afternoon, church.
Good afternoon.
I'm 9 years old and I'm in the grade. My sermon this afternoon is taken from Proverbs 20, verse 11, which says, "Even a child is known for his doing, whether his works be pure and whether it be right." And now it is centered around the story of Samuel. Before I begin, please bow your heads and close your eyes for a word of prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing my family and I to church today. Please wash and cleanse me from every sin. I pray that you give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as I deliver your message to your people. Amen.
Amen.
The Bible tells us of a little boy named Samuel who grew up and became a prophet of God. Ezekiel had 2 wives. One was named Hannah and the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. One day, after Peninnah was teasing Hannah, she got up from the table with tears in her eyes and went to the temple to pray to God. Eli, the high priest, thought she was drunk because she was praying and moving her lips, but there were no sounds. Hannah told Eli she was not drunk, but was pleading with God to give her a son. She promised God that if he did give her a son, she would give him to the Lord. God heard her prayer and gave her a son. Hannah had the baby and called him Samuel. One day, her husband wanted her to go to the temple to give her annual sacrifice, but Hannah told him she would go after the boy was weaned. Adventurers, this is a very important part of a child's life. During daily worship with my family, we sing songs and study the Bible. Sometimes I don't know what to study, so I ask God and he shows me.
Amen.
While Samuel was at home with his mother, she taught him all about God by studying his word. Boys and girls, even a child begins somewhere, learning God's word. If you like Bible stories, then you're learning all about God. We not only learn about him at home, but at Sabbath school and adventures too. Samuel's mother was feeding him spiritually from the Bible. I think she was creating in him a special kind of love that he would have for God. And yes, even a child can get to know God this way.
Amen.
In fact, getting closer to God means spending time with him every day by reading his word, praising, worshiping, and glorifying his name.
Amen.
When Samuel was of age, his mother took him to the temple to live and learn how to serve the Lord. One night, Samuel heard who he thought was Eli calling his name. So he got up and went to see, but Eli did not call him and told him to go back to bed. This happened 3 more times before Eli realized that it was God calling Samuel. So he told Samuel, if the voice calls again, say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant hears."
Amen.
As Samuel listened to God, God told him what he was going to do to Eli's house. Adventurers, have you ever felt like telling the truth was hard? Well, one day I was looking for candy in the fridge when I found some. I took it and ate it. Then I heard my mother ask, "Who ate the candy in the fridge?" That sweet candy suddenly made my stomach ache. My heart started racing and I knew I was in trouble. I wanted to blame my little brother, but deep down inside, I knew it was wrong. So I decided to tell the truth.
Amen.
Amen.
My problem was nothing like Samuel's, but I can imagine how difficult it must have been for Samuel to tell Eli that the Lord was going to destroy his household. According to 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 14, it says, "The guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for the sacrifice or offering." Can you imagine delivering such bad news?
Amen.
Adventurers, it may not always be easy, but always tell the truth. Eli had two sons named Hophni and Phinehas. Their jobs at the temple was to collect the sacrifice meat from the people. Once it was sacrificed, they would take the meat and boil it. Then they would stick a fork in the meat, and whatever came out of the pot belonged to the priest for food. But Eli's son bullied the people and took the best parts of the meat. Samuel must have thought, why were they being so disrespectful to God? And why didn't Eli do something about it? Even a child can tell there was something wrong with Eli's children. Samuel could tell that Eli's sons disobeyed God's laws. Adventurers, please stand. Let's say
I'm
the
not an
verse
adventurer.
the adventurers lost together. Jesus can help me to be obedient, be pure, be true. Adventurers, you may be seated. Do you think that Eli's sons were obedient? Were their
No.
actions toward God pure? Were they true in how they served God? Well, a child like Samuel knew they were not. Even a child like me knows they were very not.
Very not.
Being obedient means listening to our parents and elders, and more importantly, listening for when God calls us. Even if your mother calls you 10 times in 5 minutes and you want to say, "Why is she always calling me?" But instead you say, "Yes, mommy," that's not only being obedient, but it saves you from spanking. Sadly, God allowed the Philistines to destroy Israel and Eli's household. Eventually, God loves obedient children.
Amen.
And if we do something wrong, we can ask his son Jesus to forgive us and show us the right way.
Amen.
Amen.
If you're wondering how you can keep walking in the right path, just remember Philippians 4 verse 8. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and worthy. Think about these things that are excellent and worthy of praise. This will help. Finally, adventurers, even a child can know that God can do anything. So be courageous and tell your friends about God, how mighty, strong, and loving he is. Whosoever has ears to hear, let him hear, thus say the Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.